Hi, Dr. Lamb. This is Sarah Crawford with my video reflection number 2. I'm going to go ahead and get started. For this assignment, I chose to assess my niece who is in 2nd grade. And for my assessment, I planned to do something really simple because I wasn't sure that she had any exposure to fractions at all. So I didn't want to bombard her with a bunch of stuff she doesn't know how to do. So I planned 3 different written worksheets. The first one shows the fraction, and she would have to shade in the appropriate number of parts in the circle. The second worksheet would be shows shaded parts of a whole, and she would write the fraction. And then the third one was a game that she and I would play together, where she would spin the wheel and it would land on a fraction, and she would have to find the appropriate box to shade in, and the goal was to get Connect 5 or bingo, or what she called it, bingo. So those were my 3 assessments that I planned to do, and I was a little apprehensive. I thought it would be too hard for her because I didn't think she was there yet, and little did I know this was way too easy for her. The first sheet looks like this. She saw the very first one, and said, "Come on, Aunt Sarah, this is too easy." So she aced through it. She got every single one right. She had no problems whatsoever. I had her speaking out loud the whole time she did it, so I could, assess if she really knows what's going on. And for 1/4, she said, "This is one out of 4, or 1/4. I'm going to shade 1 in." The only issue I saw on this first page was on 1/2. She said 1 out of 2, or 1/2. So that was a little bit of an issue, but later on this worksheet, when she got to 1/2, she said 1/2 the correct way. So I think the first one might have just been a fluke. And she aced this one too. She saw it and said, "This is way too easy." She aced through it. She knows where the numbers go. She knows what they mean. She would say 1 out of 5 or 1/5. She knows that language. And then on this one, this is the game we played. I was pink, she was green, and she actually won, and I didn't let her win. But anyways, we would spin the wheel up here and land on one, and she even understood if you land on 1/4, you need to find an object that has 4 parts. She understood that, and she did really well with that. So she aced all of my assessments, said they were too easy, said, "Come on, this is too easy for me." So my interpretation of that and how I would, work with that to increase her learning is, I would think it's time to move on to either bigger fractions, or smaller fractions technically, or comparing fractions, because I did verbally ask her, "What's bigger, 1/2 or 1/4?" And she said 1/4. And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because 4 is bigger than 2. So I think the next thing we would work on is comparing fractions to each other, because just identifying fractions and coloring in and, saying what they mean, she's got it. She's aced it. So the next thing we would do is probably start comparing fractions, because she had a little bit of trouble with that. She didn't quite understand it. She understood it after I showed her some pictures. I kind of taught to her a little bit after we did the assessment. Can't help it. But she did really well, and I was very proud of how much she knew this stuff. And next time, I will definitely try to bring some differentiated assessments, because this was way too easy for her. I should have planned for that and brought some, more advanced material. So this has been my video reflection number 2. Thanks for watching.